I am a proud product of Boston Public Schools. Are we taking it for granted? We're in a city that prioritize, on the context of this being an education hub, it is morally college and up. But I wonder if we take advantage of what BPS has to offer, because in comparison to some other municipalities and cities, I think with services offered, like we have for example, the education fund. They have a focus on EdQuity.
It's vital that equity, particularly racial equity, is something that we are continuing to focus on. It is not merely a social or moral argument in need, it's an economic one.
I had a student who, it was Black History Month, and we were reading a play, we were putting on a play about Martin Luther King Jr. He was in 2nd grade, and he was like, "Miss LeBron, this is the first time I see a book where I look like the person on the cover. Why is that?" And to me, I was just like, we are failing these children. We are failing them. If you have gone from kindergarten or even pre-K through 2nd grade, never seeing yourself represented in the books that you're reading, we are failing you.
So Boston Light was part of the Dual County League. So we were the only city school in that league. And so we were playing against schools Acton Boxborough, Bedford, Wayland, Westford Academy, and these schools were like elite especially in terms of like sports facilities. I mean, I'm talking about weight rooms, actual football fields. Our weight room was probably the size of like 3 closets, and we didn't have a football field. We had to like travel to go, if we wanted a football-sized field to practice on, we had to travel to practice on those facilities. We had like a dirt patch next to us at that time. So like, in comparison to those schools, we were like, the ones that were shortchanged.
Even as young children, right? Like our voices matter, and that, we have power. We have power to make change in our schooling system and in our communities.
The first thing that stands out to me is the participatory budgeting. The community in which the education fund desires to serve, they're making the decisions about that. Marrying philanthropy along with that model is huge. It's something that needs to shift, because at the end of the day, those that have those resources, we appreciate them, but your resources could have so much more of an impact if you let us decide how to spend them.
And so I don't think it's far-fetched to believe that what has been started here is going to remain here. I mean, at the end of the day, people look to Boston for leadership and for what can we take from you all and adapt to our community. So, I think you're correct.
It was my sophomore year of high school. There comes in this tall Dominican woman, and we were all like, "Oh, who's that?" And she was our Spanish for native speakers teacher. And so we sit down with her, our first class. It's like a very small class. I think it was like 5 of us, right, with her. And I didn't realize it at the time, but like, wow, the impact that she would go on to have in my life was really instrumental.
In terms of education, I think if we can start to help early and start, pouring into students at an early age and providing the resources that they need to succeed in their future, like that's where to start.
Something Congressman Presley talks about the people closest to the pain not to be the ones in control of the resources and decision-making. But then also I think about civic engagement.
And we tend to really think like one size fits all, right? And that like if we come up with one policy or it just basically applies to everyone. And the thing is that doesn't work that way, right? Because we're human beings and human beings have different needs.
40 is the number of change. What's next for Boston Education Fund in the next 40 years? My name is James Jimmy Hills, and I believe in equity.
My name is Robert Eugene, and I believe in equity.
My name is Kathy Lebron, and I believe in equity.
My name is Shagun Idowu. I'm the Chief of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion for Mayor Michelle Wu, and I believe strongly in equity.